Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stock Market Show. This is your host, Shades. Let's talk about Cybl stock. I have not bought in. There's been no news, nothing exciting. We look at the yearly time frame. Let's just start. We're going to do top-down technical analysis, which is a level. It's a deep level of technical analysis that I don't really do, at least for videos. On my own time, sure, but not for videos, because it's very time-consuming to work your way down from the yearly to the daily. But this is a penny stock, so we might be able to get it out of the way real quick since there's not much data to begin with. But the first piece of data that we can gather from the yearly time frame, what can you gather from just looking at this yearly time frame? I see it. Let's see if you can see it too. I'm going to give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. You should have noticed right away within seconds. If you're experienced, by looking at this yearly time frame, we've just been going sideways for 3 years. This is the third year, but we just go sideways here. Yes, we get these big pumps, but we go sideways and inevitably come back down to 005s and under. So that's the biggest piece of information to gather from this stock. Also, something interesting to note, the volume has been increasing year over year for this stock as well. I rarely use the volume indicator when I use normal technical analysis, but in this case, I'm going to look at the RSI as well. Probably can't trust the RSI now that I think about it on these higher time frames. Let's go to the quarterly time frame. Let's go to the smaller time frame here, which I know sounds crazy to some people. Like, what? Smaller time frame, bro? That's a big time frame. Okay, smaller time frame. Let me draw. Maybe we got a trend line here. Maybe we can get a trend line here. Maybe like that. That's crazy. Is that a trend line? I see. That looks like that's a. Man, buyers always show up at that trend line. That's crazy right there. Let's see right here. Ha! No way. Are we trending over the long term? That's crazy right there. Nah, am I crazy, guys? That's crazy. This is insane. We got a penny stock that's trending on the quarterly. Buyers always show up. Look at that. No way. So if this is true, if what I'm seeing, if my eyes aren't lying to me right now, because we're doing top-down technical analysis for the first time probably in a long time, if my eyes aren't lying to me, this is a trend. We're in a channel, and we're at the top of the channel, right? And every time we've been at the top of this channel on the quarterly, again, this is a quarterly time frame, we usually come back down to the bottom of the range, which would be about 005s and under. Funny enough. I don't know. You guys let me know. Those of you who are very technical. Are you seeing what I'm seeing around this quarterly? That's crazy. I'm still going to wait for 005s and under, but that's a solid trend right there. That's a solid trend. I'm not going to buy the top of the range, though. That's why I said I just wait. This is a quarterly time frame. It's a quarterly time frame. Think about that for a second. It's a quarterly time frame. So when I say it's going to come down, I'm not saying tomorrow it's going to drop to 005s. It's a quarterly time frame. It's going to take some time, right? Like some people forget I don't look at daily or 4 hour or 1 hour or any of that garbage. We're literally working our way down from yearly to quarterly, monthly, daily, weekly, all that. Another thing to take note, after every big pump, after every big green quarter, as of late, it's followed by a huge sell-off. Big green quarter, huge sell-off. Here, I believe we were still in the CE designation, so I don't really count this because during CE it just really there's people couldn't buy, right? Look at the low volume down here. So I'm not going to count this because it was still in CE at that point, back in 2022 and 2023. So as of late, since it got out of CE, since it got rid of that CE designation, what has the stock been doing on the quarterly time frame? Big green run, big green quarterly candle, huge sell-off to follow, retraces most of that, really retraces most of that move. Same thing here, big green quarterly candle. We would expect it to take out most of this candle and come down to 005s. And again, I'm seeing a trend here, so it should come down cheaper. Monthly time frame. Let's go to the monthly time frame. I need a drink of water. This video would have been over already if I did like very basic TA, but today I figured, you know what, let's do a deep dive. So now we're on the monthly time frame. Again, on the monthly time frame, you see the same thing, right? It's going sideways here. We got out of CE, boom, big spike to 195, followed by months of downside, big spike again. We would expect yet again months of downside. And let me draw that trend line support here. Should we draw it like this maybe? Yeah, we'll draw it like that. So if it's going to come back to trendline support, I mean, it's going to take a few months, but it should come down to at least 005s. High 004s is what it's looking like. If anything, oh man, is this, no, that's not real. Is that, are you guys seeing this? Look at that. Is that an ascending triangle on the monthly? How come I didn't see this on the quarterly? Because on the quarterly, it looks like a channel. Yeah. On the, well, it doesn't matter if it, I don't even care, quite frankly. What I do care about is how cheap can I get this. If it's going to come down to that trendline support, I'm just going to be buying at 004s, 005s. Which is a massive discount for where it's at right now. Some guy told me to buy at 1 penny. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to fall for that. This looks like an ascending triangle over the long term. Like it looks like we're slowly going to make our way to 1 penny, 0.012, and then eventually have a big breakout and retest 195, and then maybe go to you know, the 2 cent area, 0.025. Because that's a big support at 0.025. Mumu doesn't go for that far back, so I can't show you that, but I'm sure some of you remember. That's how well I know the stock. Like that, I've been covering this for years, so I know there's a big resistance level at 0.025, at 2.5 cents. But this is looking like as we work our way down. It's only been 7 minutes. As we're working our way down from top to bottom, right? Top down technical analysis from yearly to quarterly to monthly, we're starting to see some bullish patterns emerge. We got a trend line. We got a channel. It always comes back down after a big pump. You know, it takes a few months, but if you're willing to be patient, you get it nice and cheap, and then eventually it pumps huge again, and you make your money. I like this stock. I do. Weekly. Let's go to the smaller time frame, which I know that sounds weird to say. Like, what, you consider the weekly smaller? Yes, I do. Compared at least to the yearly. Okay, so on the weekly time frame, which I think I told you this before, on the weekly time frame, I told you this last time. I made a video talking about the weekly MACD. Let me look at the monthly MACD. It's not too reliable. We'd be buying in late. We'd be chasing if we use the MACD, monthly MACD as a signal to buy. The weekly MACD, it comes down, right? Boom, cross under happens, and we just tank for week after week. Then the crossover happens on the weekly. We get a huge pump for that week, and then it comes down nice and cheap, and then huge pump again on that crossover. So, and the volume comes in on those crossovers, as you can see here. Big jump in volume. Huge jump in volume here as well. I had to chase that this time, but whatever. You know, crossover in the MACD happens here, huge pump to almost 2 cents. So the weekly MACD crossover is a pretty solid signal to buy. You'd be chasing a little bit, but we know this one likes to have multi-day runs, so you'd still be able to make like 30 to 50% if you want to use the MACD weekly crossover as a signal. Because on the MACD, because the data we can take from this, let me just show you this. Crossover in the MACD happens, right? It opens at 0049, closes at 0084. So if you just buy and hold till end of week, you still end up making money. This crossover, same story. You could have bought right at open for that weekly for that week and went to 008. One high, you sell at the end of the week, boom, you made your money. Same thing here. I mean, this is what I did. I was like, oh, there's the weekly crossover. That's my signal. I'm going to chase, and I made my, my money. So the weekly time frame, not the monthly, not the quarterly, not the yearly, the weekly time frame, the MACD specifically, the weekly MACD is a very reliable signal. Yes, you'd have to chase a little bit, but it's a very reliable signal. So if you see the white line crossing over that yellow line on the weekly, buy in, hold for the rest of the week, take the profit, whatever it may be. That's the data we're getting here, at least. Again, top-down technical analysis. I told you we were gonna go deep. The cross under means we're gonna tank, so that's kind of what would be next. We would wait to see if it's gonna come down and cross under and come down at least to like 00. Yeah, because 004s, 005s are support right now. Big support down here. So everything's lining up for a drop, in my opinion. Whoa, RSI. I almost forgot about the RSI here. Yeah, RSI still has some ways down. Yeah, RSI still has some ways down. Yeah, it loves to cool down to like 30s. Like RSI support right now is, yeah, in the 30s. So we still got some, historically speaking, it loves to come down to 30s after a pump. So on the weekly RSI, we still got some downside to horizontal RSI support, which I know, again, might sound weird. Like, what? You add horizontal support lines to RSI? What are you, insane shades? Yes. When I do top-down technical analysis, I am crazy. Okay, the daily time frame, which is the smallest time frame in my eyes when I do top-down technical analysis. Yeah, the purple line acts as support. It's also a good buying zone, right? You guys remember the episode where Jerry Seinfeld bought a stock and he's like, oh, I got fluctuated. Oh, no. Remember that? Well, that's because he's stupid. He sold when he should have been holding or buying more. You know, it dipped and he sold because he was scared because he didn't know any better. But this stock, once we got out of the CE designation, even within the CE designation, you'll notice it fluctuates around that purple line, which is good because we can abuse that. Comes way above the purple line, then comes down and touches it, pumps again, touches it, pumps again, breaks down, giving us a massive discount, and then boom, comes back up above the purple line, then comes down under it. So very obvious, clear pattern here. If you're just looking at the purple line, the 200 weighted moving average, you'll notice it fluctuates around it. So don't be like Jerry Seinfeld when it comes down to the purple line. Don't be like, oh no, it's over. No, you get excited. You're like, yes, I'm buying more at 005s. Woohoo. You buy Jerry Seinfeld's shares, and you're going to be the Costanza with the cigar in your mouth, sitting at the restaurant bragging about. Oh well, he wasn't bragging, but But you know what I mean. If you know the episode, you know what I mean. So, yeah, don't be like Jerry Seinfeld. On the daily time frame, the purple line is a very reliable signal that you're getting a massive discount from highs, and eventually we know it's going to fluctuate back above it. So we can even measure that with our price range tool. If you let it come down to the purple line, you get a 62% discount. Yeah, you get a massive discount. Every time this is pumped, we get big discounts if we wait for the purple line. Yeah, 40 to 60%. So being patient and disciplined and waiting for it to come down pays off. I don't know why people always say the stupid ones always say the same thing. It's never going to come back down, Shade. You wish, you're going to have to chase. And I'm just like, bro, I just did top-down technical analysis. I don't know how. You're never going to convince me to listen to you because I only care about what the story is on the charts. The charts tell the story. They tell the story, and based off of my analysis today, if we put it all together and we work our way back down from yearly to quarterly looks like I don't know about you guys, but that looks like a trend here. The monthly looks like an ascending triangle maybe, and or maybe a wedge. Maybe I didn't measure that correctly. Let me see. Guess you could say maybe a wedge here. Either way, even if this is a wedge, it still should come back down to the bottom of the trend line. And then we would eventually get a breakout at the end of it. So that would line up for a third pump, in my opinion. The only reason we would break down at this point would be if it goes back into CE. I mean, it's a Department of Defense play, penalty partnership. I don't see this tanking. And if it does tank to 0011s for no reason other than the technicals, thank you for the cheapies. I'm buying down there. So let's go to the weekly. Yeah, I guess maybe you could call this a wedge as well. Depends on how you want to see it. Either way, bullish in my opinion. Bullish. Long-term bullish, but we're just looking to get the cheapies. So hopefully this helped you out. Maybe you've never done top-down technical analysis. Maybe you're like, what the hell? This guy's insane. He just keeps, he's just putting lines everywhere. You know what? Screw you, Shades. I'm just buying more. I'm very strategic about my buys, though. RSI on the monthly. Funny enough, RSI support is at 47, and right now the RSI is at 63. So again, everything looks like we're gonna cool down, and then we'll, nobody's gonna want it when it's cheap, and then it's gonna skyrocket again when the news drops. That's just how it's been. It's a penny stock. It's risky. Don't forget that. But I'm buying like 10K worth when it comes down. Okay, maybe not 10K. Maybe? No, I'll see. Because I have to actually sit in the position on the bid and see if I can get filled. Maybe I'll add like 4K to start. Because I know I can get filled on those. Because you don't want to have too big of a position. Because then offloading that sucks. Guess it depends on when you sell. If you sell along the way when all the buying pressure is there, should be easy to get rid of your shares. So I guess it depends. But yeah, you don't want to add too big of a position. I'm still writing the free shares, of course, but I'm just talking about, flipping it. I'm not one of those people that's just going to, oh, guys, I'm now along and never going to flip it. I'm still going to flip it for my money. For some short term, $3,000, $2,000. I mean, it can give you 50 to 100% gains or more, depending on where you buy. So why not take advantage of that as well? Why not swing trade it while also holding long?